playoff games. Obviously, he was asked a little bit last night about what's next. He was very non-committal. I don't think we expected anything different. Chandler, I'm going to start with you, though. Does he retire? Does he come back? What are we seeing?
He can't retire. He's too good. He's playing at such an elite level. That would not make sense, and I don't think he would do that. And I can't see him leaving either. I think this is too small of a sample size.
Oh, interesting.
You add a Luka. Austin Reaves played great, for the most part since that trade. And this is just a sour taste in his mouth after losing this series, going home 4-1 against Minnesota Timberwolves, who I guarantee you they think they're still a better team and they have more to prove. So I know the player option's there. I know he's going to be very non-committal. He's going to say a bunch of stuff that's going to make us confused and overthink, till the day happens. But I see him back in a Lakers jersey next year, and I think there's some unfinished business here with Luka and a full season to kind of see how good this team and they can be together.
And maybe some size. Just a little bit.
Maybe
a little bit. I know Mark Williams tweeted last night, but.
Yeah, but we've seen this movie before. Like LeBron, he's going to hold his cards close to his chest until he gets what he wants out of the scenario. He's going to put pressure on the Lakers brass to bring in guys that's going to give him an opportunity at 41, 42 years old to compete for a championship. Luka was a great start, but they gotta round out the edges, right? They gotta get some guys that's gonna come off the bench, that's gonna give them production. They gotta figure out what they're gonna do at that center position. They got a lot of different things that they gotta figure out for this team to be competitive again at the top of the West. Now he's gonna wait around until they make those decisions, and then we'll see what his future holds. But he's not retiring. That's one thing we know that he's not gonna do. He's not gonna retire after a series like that, especially having Luka on your team. Bronny still being there. Everything still leans towards him being in a Los Angeles Lakers uniform. But again, he's going to be non-committal until they put the pieces in place for him to be successful in the purple and gold.
If we know that that's his strategy, how does it keep working? Like, we already know that that's what he's doing.
Because he's LeBron James.
I know.
What are you going to do? He has the leverage.
It's kind of crazy.
Even if they won the championship this year, he's not retiring.
No, we're going to get a heads up, so there's a year-long parade. We know this. Don't be silly. This is how fickle being a fan of sports is. I feel like it was 20 minutes ago when everybody was all in on Austin Reaves. And then these playoffs came and went, and everyone's off now on Austin Reaves. There's people in Lakerland that are saying, we got to move him. We got to figure something else out. And yes, his numbers were down from regular season to this very short postseason run here, Lou, but is he a third option on a championship team? I feel like I've asked it before. It needs to be asked again.
He can be. And that's where we got to relax as fans and as people that watch the games. We got to allow some of these guys to develop into the potential that we see in them. Like, I think at some point in his career, he will be a worthy 2 or a 3 guy in a rotation. But this series didn't go his way, right? And give Minnesota credit. They had a good game plan. You got to take things away. You got to limit certain guys that has the capability of hurting you during the playoffs, and they were able to do that. They had a solid game plan for Austin Reaves. They limited his touches, limited where he could be successful, and he struggled in this series. Now, if I'm Austin Reaves, I go watch a bunch of film and I learn and I grow from what I just went through, and I make my adjustments and I grow my game, But you got to think about the team that we're talking about. We're talking about the Los Angeles Lakers now. They put up banners. They don't develop talent. They're not in the patient of waiting for a guy to develop into something. They expect you to be that when you're wearing the purple and gold. So they just gotta be patient with Austin Reaves. It's okay for them to be disappointed in how he played in the playoffs, but he'll get better and better, and he'll be a worthy guy for that team.
Yeah, we can't switch up so easily on a player. And again, this wasn't his best series, and you want to see your guys play better in the postseason than the regular season, and he didn't. His numbers were down. Still averaged 16 and 3.5, which is exactly what I said he was going to be this year.
How do you feel right now?
It's again, he had a great year. He averaged 20 and 6. He was more efficient, but I don't think that's necessarily fair or expected. I don't think you sign Austin Reaves for him to average 20 points. He's so valuable. He can be a third option on a championship team. Obviously, things have to go right. You have to be healthy. 1 and 2 have to be elite. But again, he had some of the best games when LeBron and Luka were out. When they were out, when he was the number 1 guy, he was unbelievable. He was nasty. So he's shown that he can take on more of a role with more opportunity. And again, I think their athleticism and their length made him struggle a little bit. You never want to shoot 41 from the field. He's kind of a high efficient guy where he can get to the basket. He can make the game comes easy for him because he takes good shots. He doesn't force too much. So these numbers, these percentages in the playoffs are particularly low for him. But To trade him or even him be in talks is ridiculous. We're just talking about he's the best undrafted, one of the best undrafted players. Is he the best third option in the NBA? And like now we're talking about trading him. Like, relax. It was a bad series. He's playing with the guys with the usage rate are through the roof with LeBron and Luka. Like let's see next year. Let's judge him off next year when they have a full camp, a full season.
Yeah, I feel like you've only had a couple months of this.
And can I say something? And Laker fans, y'all got to get off my back because just last month, y'all were killing me online about him being. I said that he might not be the best third option in Los Angeles. We went from that to y'all ready to trade the man because of a playoff run that wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. Like he averaged 16 and 3. It wasn't bad.
Solid.
Yeah, it was solid. Now we're ready to trade him. I don't understand.
Both of you guys have rights to because you got a lot of hate too when you originally said that.
Again, it's 15, 5, and 5 is now bad for an undrafted dude. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? This year he had a career year, 20 and 6. You know, I think he was top 5 in most improved player awards. He's continued to get better. His number somehow even went up when Luka came. So, like, again, this is a 5-game bad series for him, but this doesn't change his impact and his value on this franchise and this team moving forward. He is definitely one of their franchise pieces. Sports
fandom is a crazy,
fickle
crazy ride. It's up and down every single day. Let's just grade, Lou. Let's go ahead and give the Lakers season, as it is now done, a grade. Is it optimistic times or no?
For me, it is. Honestly, I grade it a B-. I give them a B-. At the end of the day, you were a 50-win team. You had a rookie coach. There's going to be improvement for JJ, but JJ's proven. He's a worthy head coach in this league. He knows what he's doing. Now, he did make some rookie mistakes in his playoffs that didn't go his way. He gambled in some places that didn't work out. But again, he's still trying things. He still is surrounded by a lot of head coaching experience, and he's still learning. He has a bunch of room to grow. They got the talent. They were able to adjust when Luka came in. They played some small ball. They had success there. You got some really good pieces, but again, you got to round out. You got to round out your supporting cast. You got to figure out who's going to be your consistent star lineup. You got to get somebody to come off the bench and give you anything. Just anything. And so with all things considered, I think they still had a successful season. They ran into the wrong type of team, and then they got them out of there. Other than that, I give them a B-.
Yeah, I'm okay with B-, B-, C+. Like Lou said, you know, JJ Redick, first-year coach, but he's surrounded himself with vets. Like last night, the whole substitution thing on Jackson Hayes, the media asked him, is this inexperience?
He got mad.
Maybe the rotations were off a little bit, but again, he's got vet head coaches on the bench. You don't think he's having dialogue with them? And so, like, this was clearly part of their plan. And looking back now, sure, it's easier. Maybe we should have played these guys. Maybe we should have thrown in Jackson Hayes or, played Maxey more. Fine. But the future is still bright here. You don't trade for a guy like Luka and not expect the future to be insanely bright. It's LA. They're going to get free agents. They're going to get wanted players to come there and join Luka and LeBron James. So, again, championship, I think, was a stretch a little bit this year, but this team did have enough to win a championship, so I give them a C+.
Do we overrate them? I mean, does it feel like in hindsight?
Overrated? No, because think about it. There was that month where they're like the best defense. Yes. Their offense was elite. AR's numbers were going up. Luka was starting to get his rhythm down, although he wasn't making the high percentage of his jump shots. We thought that would come with time, and he missed so much time right before the trade. LeBron at his age, and they tried to mix and match. Gabe Vincent finally got going a little bit. Dorian Finney-Smith started to be valued. Rui was kind of consistent. So they do have pieces moving forward. And again, I think they do come in next season with championship expectations. They just got to add a little bit here and there, and they have to get some size. Jackson Hayes, Alex Len, Max Kleber, they got to find something more consistent with those guys for when they do run to a bad matchup like the Timberwolves.
Well, Jackson Hayes is an unrestricted free agent this summer. Do you keep him? Because it seems like you didn't want to use him. Or do you go find a completely different set of people, Lou?
I think everything is on the table besides LeBron and Luka. Mm-hmm. And it should be Austin Reaves as well, but the fans think differently. But I think you look at everything. They gotta get bigger. They gotta get stronger at that center position. Even though they like to play that small ball, they got to go out there and find them a guy that's going to fit that mold. And you got to go out and get a big body. Now that you've seen that's worthy, like Rudy Gobert having having a 20-20 game. You got Jokic up the street. He's not going anywhere. You're going to have to battle him. Remember, AD is still around. You got to find somebody that's going to go in there and at least compete with these guys to give you an opportunity to win basketball games at that position when the game does go big and the small ball is not working for you as much. So everything and everybody should be on the table with the exception of a few guys. So I'm sure the Lakers will look at everything.
And you always hear the Vucevic name, the Brook Lopez, you get someone like that, a vet guy that can stretch the floor, but that just gives you some size, that you can play out of the post, that knows how to play off those stars. I feel like I look for a name like that. And the Mark Williams, I mean, think about how long ago did that feel like, that trade. He is what they needed. The Dalton Connect thing also, too, I feel like that whole move kind of stunted his growth. He found himself out of the rotation. He was, in talks to win Rookie of the Year, all rookie team. He can't even get minutes now. So there are some discussions internally and some decisions they need to make, but priority is to for me, is to sign a big.
Lou, I know JJ Redick was a little snappy last night with the media. We already know that he didn't sub second half, game 4 last night. No Jackson Hayes. Cleaver got the call. So I don't know. He's not going to admit this, but we can, I suppose. Is this just a case of perhaps first-time coach? Maybe the lights were a little bright, got a little too smart. How would you assess what JJ Redick did here?
I wouldn't say the lights were too bright. I gotta give Coach Finch a lot of credit. Like, again, he forced Rudy Gobert into the position where he was a dominant factor, and he forced JJ Redick to try to make adjustments on the fly, and he had to try things. He had to go to a guy that he hadn't had the opportunity to try to put on the floor as of yet. But when Rudy Gobert is dominant and you've given up on one guy, you got to try something else. So that's more of a credit to the Minnesota Timberwolves, more so than a slight to JJ Redick. He put their backs against the wall. He made them try things that they weren't comfortable with trying, and it didn't work out for the Lakers, and it worked for Minnesota, and that's why they're moving on.
Yeah, and you don't think during timeouts JJ's like looking at Nate McMillan and Scotty Brooks, his vet assistant coach. He's like, hey man, you think we should, shift? Do you think we should put in Jackson? And again, there's definitely conversation. So yes, it's easy to blame JJ Redick. Oh, it's his first year, he's inexperienced, but that's why you surround yourself with those type of ex-head coaches that have been there before. So no doubt in my mind there was conversation there, but they felt like they could still beat this team. And you thought Rudy Gobert was going to have 27 and 24 and dominate, you know what I mean? So like this isn't the craziest thing to continue to go small and do what you do best. But sure, could he have made some simple rotations and switches when Rudy started dominating the game like that? Yeah, fine. But again, I can't blame to inexperience because he's got plenty of experience on that bench.
Man, he did not like that.
He didn't love it.
He did not like that question at all. We're going to take a quick break. Man, we just did 24 minutes on that. Well,
just
it is
on the Lakers.
It is the bye-bye of the Lakers, so I totally get it. We'll be back with some more Run It Back.
Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, yeah.